Well, we'll keep going because I'd like to get this covered. And we're almost there. I mixed up a little bit of cobalt blue and burnt sienna. You know, keeping within the theme of greens and grays. Greens, grays, and blues. And I don't want this, what I'm doing right now, I really don't need it to be too interesting. Need it. I don't want it to be too interesting. That's maybe a better way of putting it. Suppose I could be using a bigger brush, but for this little bit, I don't want to dirty another brush because I'm lazy. And once this little bit is in, we have our painting painted. It's far from finished, but it's covered. So I think it's okay to leave a couple lines going here, even though it's repeated down here. It works. I think it works okay. Okay, let me get myself out of the way here briefly, but still in a position where I can actually reach the painting and point out a couple things. So we have this painting, it's covered. I like it. I am going to need to do a number of things. I'm going to make this more interesting in here by providing a few shapes. Also in the crevices I'm going to have a few colors here and there. But it's just kind of blah, you know? The water needs just a couple of spots of higher value highlighting. That's it. The water doesn't need too much. I don't want it to have too much. These rocks bother me a little bit because they're very gray. Yes, I know they're more in the shade, but I think I might put a stroke or two of some mauve in here, you know, in these rocks. Just a bit. I want them to be separate clearly from those, but not just all gray. We'll see how that goes. These rocks, they need a lot of highlighting. There's going to be a lot more light catching and shining off of these rocks in the foreground. This that I just painted, we're not going to pay too much attention to those. We're going to lay a lot more light on the greens. On these twin trees, this one's going to catch a little bit more. Maybe hit there, maybe not, we'll see. So, oh yeah, and the sky. I'm going to have to revisit the sky, tidy it up in certain places. I'm going to have to reiterate a few of the darker lines that I have sort of besmirched, I guess, with my carelessness as I've painted over. So the whole thing, the entire thing needs to be bumped up. It's a nice scene, but it doesn't pop, and we want a little bit of that popping going on. Color scheme's good, but it's a bit dull. It's a bit muted, and if I'm going to have a muted painting, then I want to exaggerate the muting of it. I don't want it to be a consequence of inadequate vibrance within the painting. So there it is, it's painted, I'm happy. I'll see you next week.